Hi, my name is Brooklyn Smith. I'm a makeup artist and a hairstylist based in the DC area. I'm also a beauty guide for Limelight by Alcone. On a daily basis, I work in television, do a little bit of editorial, and then have private clients a little here and there. But today, what I wanted to talk to you about was some important aspects of makeup, and one of those is going to be the principle of texture in makeup. So texture in makeup is broken down into three categories. We have shine, shimmer, and matte. Now, shine, shimmer, and matte all apply to various places on the face, right? So everywhere on the face, your eyes, your lips, your skin, the entire face, as well as it could apply to your body as well. So I wanted to talk to you about shine versus shimmer versus matte. So shine, anything that is shiny is going to reflect light. So an example of shine would be in our Lottie Eyeshadow Dream On collection. An example of shine is going to be these last four eyeshadows here. So all of them have a shiny texture to them. Now, an example of matte would be these last two shadows here. So a matte finish does not reflect any light at all, so it absorbs light, so it's going to mattify the presence on the face. This also applies to blushes. So if I'm opening my blush palette, you're going to notice that these blushes have a little bit of shimmer to them, as a little bit of shine, to them as well. So they have a little bit of a shiny texture. So what is the difference between shine and shimmer? Shimmer has flecks or flakes of glitter in them. So shimmer is an uncontrollable amount of shine. So when you're thinking about shimmer, think about a disco ball and how when a disco ball rotates, it's continuously reflecting light, right? So that is an uncontrollable shiny source would be your shimmer. Another thing to think of, anything that is shimmer or shiny is going to reflect light, which means it's going to draw attention to it, and it's also going to make it appear larger. So if I put shimmer on my lips, if I put a lip gloss that has glitter in it on my lips, that's going to draw attention to it. Also gloss. So gloss is going to be in your shine category as well, because gloss is going to reflect light. So do know that if you're putting a gloss on someone's lip, you're going to draw attention to that lip, as well as if you were doing a glossy eyelid, you're going to reflect light on that eyelid. So this is important to know because you have certain features in a person's face that you may be trying to draw attention to or take attention away from. So an example would be maybe someone wants their lips to appear fuller. So if I want my lips to appear fuller, I'm going to put a gloss on those lips because it's going to draw attention to it. It's also going to make it appear larger by reflecting the light. If I wanted my lips to appear smaller, I would perhaps go with a matte finish lipstick. So that way it's, it's mattifying, it's not reflecting any light to it. Same thing goes with our eyes. So with our eyes, do know that if I place shimmer on the eyes, I'm drawing attention to it. As well as if I place shimmer, like our blushes, if I place shimmer on the cheekbone, I know that I'm drawing attention to that area. Now, if you have someone who has more mature skin, you have to realize that if I put shimmer in certain places, it's going to draw attention to it. So if I put shimmer underneath the eye on someone who has more mature skin, who has any fine lines underneath here, the shimmer is going to draw attention to those lines, which we may not really want to happen, right? So we may not want attention to be brought to those fine lines. So those are some things that you should think about whenever you're applying makeup. Another prime example of having a matte, shimmer, and a shine eyeshadow would be. Another example is going to be within our Onyx collection in the eyeshadow palette. So this is going to give you an example of all three, shine, shimmer, and matte. So if you're looking at the eyeshadows within this palette, the top two, so the cream and the gray, are both matte finish. So they're not going to reflect any light at all. So that means they're not going to draw attention to. It's going to give a flat surface. The bottom two, the one on the far left, the deep gray, has a shine finish to it, so it's very little shine to it, but it is more shine than your matte colors in this palette. And the one on the far right is the black eyeshadow, and it has shimmer in it. So the difference, remember, between the two is that the shimmer is going to be more of an uncontrollable shine, whereas the shine is controllable. And to control shine, we're just going to lay a matte on top of it. And an example of that, again, would be for the all over face. If someone has a dewy finish or they have some oil in some areas that create more of a shine to their skin, the way to get rid of that, the way to create a flat surface and not reflect any light, would be to put our translucent powder on top of that. It's a mattifying powder, so once it's placed in those areas, so your T-zone, around your nose, your chin, those areas that are shiny that we don't want to be shiny, you can just place that translucent, that mattifying powder that we have in our palettes. We can just place that in those areas to mattify those areas. So let's just kind of recollect our thoughts on shine, shimmer, and matte. So remember, anything that contains shine and shimmer is going to reflect light. It's going to draw attention to it. It's going to make it appear larger. Anything that is matte is going to take the attention away from it. It's going to create a flat surface. It's going to control shine. Also remember that shimmer is an uncontrollable shine, and an example of shimmer would be, like we talked about earlier, would be that disco ball. So it's an uncontrollable amount of shine. And again, perfect examples, Onyx palette, the Lottie collection palette, the Dream On, all of these have your matte and your shine and your shimmer colors in there. And just remember these principles when you're putting makeup on someone. So whether it's the eyes, the lips, the cheekbone, just remember, or even the highlighter under the eye, remember that anything that I placed shine onto, which is also lip gloss, is going to draw attention to, make it appear larger. And anything that I apply matte to is going to create a flat surface and not reflect any light. So take these things into consideration. Another thing that we're going to talk about in another video coming soon is color theory, light versus dark. Light versus dark comes into play with texture and makeup. They go hand in hand. So this video today on texture and makeup, and the next video on light versus dark within color theory. These are both just videos who contain information for you, and then we'll have some demo videos coming in the future very soon. Thank you so much for spending time with me. My website is www.brookleesmith.com. You can also access www.limelightbyalcone.com/Brooke Lee Smith. I look forward to seeing you soon.